Good afternoon, Tiffany. How are you today?
I'm great. Hi, Danielle. Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for allowing me to record this portion of our interview. I was very excited to connect with you after reviewing your resume. I have a few positions that I think you would just be amazing for. So, what I'd like to do is give you the floor and allow you to tell me a little bit about your recent work history, relevant work history.
Sure. Most recently, I'm finishing a 3-year contract with a fintech company. So that is going to be up at the end of this quarter, but it can be finished early. Considering that I'm not renewing, they're totally okay with me moving on anytime within the next 60 days if I have to. So that contract has basically been, I was the director of client relations. I basically just ran the whole entire client side of their company, took care of all the CRM work, onboarding clients, client maintenance, client portfolios. My clients were attorneys and they're in full law firms. So we did a lot of strategic work for them to look at their portfolios of what they want to make it year as far as our software allowed them to offer payment options to their clients. So I got to
Okay.
work one-on-one with firms all the time. Over 230 attorneys are in my portfolio at any given moment.
Wow.
So yeah, so a lot of client service perfection is expected in that position with very hard to please clients as well. But
Okay.
challenging, but really,
Understand
really
that.
fun. Yeah,
Okay. So you're dealing with a rather affluent customer
very
client
much
base.
so. Yeah, that is demanding a high level of competence and efficiency all the time. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Wonderful. And then I see on your resume that you have some interior design. So tell me a little bit about that. I know we already talked about it
Hmm.
before this part of it, but I would love to add that to our virtual
Yeah,
discussion.
of course. So my partner and I, we have our first house that we had in Nashville was just a normal flip. We designed it from the studs and then flipped it pretty quickly. And then our second house is our current house in Nashville that we've turned into an Airbnb. And that was also designing it from the studs up. And then also that house is actually on HGTV, featured on a show called Nashville Flipped. So that's kind of searchable. It's called the Crooked Craftsman. HGTV
Yeah.
does some interesting things. They take a lot of liberties as far as what they show on the show, but we were able to design it from the studs up. I designed He Builds. And then we moved from Nashville in 2021 to Ormond Beach into a
Mhm.
1958 ranch house. And we are 75% through the renovations here with me designing and He Builds. So we have a great relationship on how we can walk into a house. I can have the vision, and then I just say, "Can we do this?" And then he says yes or no. So as
Yeah.
far as design, I've worked with some independent designers in Nashville as well, just to do some staging in preparation for houses to sell or staging for Airbnbs also. And we're also looking for a new investment property here to do basically the same thing that we had done in Nashville a few times. So either flip or Airbnb, depending on where we find the property. So
Okay.
that's kind of the design history.
Wow, I love it. That is super exciting. I'm definitely going to look up that video
Yeah, it's cute. It's
for
really cute.
yes. Okay. Actually, can you send it to me
Yeah,
afterwards and I will go
yeah, for
ahead and
sure.
include that. Okay, great. And then before that, I see that you have sales experience.
Mhm.
So tell me about your sales experience.
So that would be for the boutique whiskey jam whiskey, which is a Nashville-based whiskey. The idea came out of two friends of mine, songwriters in Nashville, wanted to create a whiskey to kind of go in with our culture. We all worked in music, so it was kind of to be able to have kind of a, just a whiskey for us to pass around. Amongst our people. And they actually had a connection through Firefly Distillery. Scott Newitt, who's the owner, who actually had a connection to Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace sourced all of our whiskey. We distilled it at Firefly. And then I was their independent sales rep and territory manager / client relation / marketer for a couple years after the whiskey came out because it kind of fell flat right when they first released it. So I kind of came in as the Hail Mary to save the brand before it just went strictly, order to like private clients. And we were able to really salvage it and bring it back. And the sales came into that job because I did not have a budget for marketing. I was the budget for marketing. And also, we weren't able to incentivize any bars in Nashville to carry our whiskey as big distributors and big suppliers are able to do. So I had to create unique relationships with each and every, on premise, off premise client that we had, which included doing private tastings, just basically anything I could do to get the whiskey into the bar. And then also had to have events for them to be able to promote the whiskey as well. So I was, from start to finish, the opener and closer for that whiskey. That job ended slightly before the pandemic. Our master distiller ended up having a heart attack. He's totally okay, though. He recovered nicely. But in January, right before the pandemic, we would all take our family vacations. It's a slow time in Nashville. It's when everybody basically gets about 6 weeks of rest before the craziness starts again. And then right when we were all kind of getting back into work is when the pandemic happened. So the brand got iced by the time they got up and moving again. I was already moved to Florida, but I still did remote and contract work for them, designing events and everything like that. So I was doing that probably up until the beginning of 2022 with those guys. But yeah, that's as far as sales. I mean, that was a tough job because you're walking in, you have one product and you have to sell that product, and it is just that product and it's me. So
Yeah.
but we did really
Super
well.
exciting.
I was a team of one. So
Yeah. Wow, that's a huge accomplishment. Well, Tiffany, I'm going to go ahead and stop this portion of the interview. But it it has absolutely been a pleasure to get to know you a little bit more. But I've got more things to talk about. So
okay,
don't
great.
hang up. I'll be right back.
Okay, thank you.